Okay, welcome to our classroom. We are on our week 3, quarter 4. So first, let us start with a prayer. In the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. Lord Jesus, I pray today that you multiply your grace on me, subtract and take away all of my sins by your mercy you have shed on me. Add to my awareness a better understanding of your will for me in my life. I will divide my blessings and grace with those that are not as fortunate as I am. In your perfect and most holy name, I come to you, Jesus, and ask these things. Amen. Once again, I'm your grade 7 mathematics teacher, Maria Eliza Nunez. Our objective for this week is to organize data in a frequency distribution table. First, let us consider the tally sheets and board and answer the questions that follow. So we have here tally sheet for a class election. So we have candidates for class president, then the tally, then the number of votes. We have here Joselito, Melinda, and Cardo. As you can see on the tally here, you will draw a line, 1, 2, 3, 4, then a slant line for the fifth one. Then for the number of votes, you will just count it all and write it as a number. We also have tally sheet for local election. So, were you with your parents when they visited the school to take a vote for the candidates during a barangay or municipal election? So, where you can see those tally board there. We also have tally board for the national election. So, if you ever watch how the votes of the national election are being presented to many viewers, that's how it looks. They have the name of the candidates, then the tally, then the total. So as you can see, we always use it in every election, from the class election to the local election up to the national election, because it is important during elections that the data or the count of votes is presented to the viewers or the voters in a way that they can easily observe the status of the election results. And that's why we use a tally sheet or a tally board. That's how you call the way to organize the counting of votes. Let us go back that you all know about what is frequency. Frequency is the number of times an observation or a particular value appears in a data set. It is different from your tally. Because in a frequency, you will already write the number. What is frequency distribution? This is our topic. What is frequency distribution? A frequency distribution is a table that shows the frequencies for the categories, values of a counting variable, or class intervals. Class intervals if it is arranged in a group data, because we will have a frequency distribution for ungroup and group data. So we have here, let us consider the following portion of the table. We have here class interval. This is what I see. This is for the group data. This is just an example, but later on you will make your own. So for the class interval, we have 16 to 20. That means I need to take a look of the data that includes 16 to 20 before I write the tally. So when I write the tally, means the numbers between 16 to 20 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 according to the tally. And when you write it as a frequency, just write it as a number itself, which is 7. So again, class interval in the table above or the slide before, the class interval is 16 to 20. Its class size is 5 because there are 5 values that the interval may contain. And those values are 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So that's the reason why your class size is 5 according to the number of values it contains. The class interval also has class limits. We have the lower class limit and the upper class limit. In this case, your lower class limit is the 16 and your upper class limit is 20 because you have a 16 to 20. In other words, that's the lowest number and the upper number in your class interval. But if we have a fractional measurement such as height and weight, we have the following class boundaries to avoid the gaps between these class intervals. So for the class interval 16 to 20, the class boundaries are 15.5 for the lower class boundary. Why did it be 15.5? Because you subtract 0.5 from 16. And when you find for the upper class boundary, it will be 20.5 this time because you will add 0.5 to 20. Just to clarify, the lower class limit, upper class limit, its exact value. But when you're being asked for the lower class boundary and upper class boundary, it should always have a 0.5. So for lower class, always subtract 0.5 from your lower class limit, and for upper class, add 0.5 if you're being asked for upper class boundary. Next, each class interval also has a class mark. Class mark, in other words, is the middle value that may serve as the representative of the interval. In this case, class mark is equal to 16. Your class mark is equal to 18 rather, since 18 is the middle score from 16 to 20. If you will take a look, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, your 18 is in the middle of those 5 numbers. That's why that will be your class mark. To summarize it all, we write it in a table. We have now the class interval and class mark is 18. Again, for the class mark is the middle score value of your class interval. So for the lower class limit is the lower number. Upper class limit is the upper number of your class interval, but for the lower class boundary, you will subtract the 16 to 0.5, and for the upper class boundary, add 0.5 to your 20. It depends on the given class interval. But the rules is always for the lower class, always subtract 0.5. For the upper class, always add 0.5. So we have here now the tally column. The tally column is the record of sticks, the one you see starting from the introduction of our lesson. That gives you the frequency or the number of values that fall into class interval 16 to 20. While the frequency column, So is the number of sticks the slush serves as the fifth count on your tally. So that counting will be easier. Values or numbers are written in this column. So in short, in the tally, you will write the sticks. And on the sticks, the slash one is served as your fifth count. But on the frequency column, just write the number that served in your tally column. The example, we have here complete frequency distribution of the test scores of 20 students in a 40-item math quiz. So here are the scores. We have 36 to 40, 31 to 35, 26 to 30, 21 to 25, 16 to 20. Then for the tally, again, just write the sticks. So for 36 to 40, we have 1 stick. 31 to 35, 5 sticks again. This is the slush that will serve as the fifth one. 26 to 30, you have 9 sticks. Don't forget to write the dash also after every 5 sticks that you have. 21 to 25, we have 3 sticks. 16 to 20 is 2 sticks. Then for the frequency, again, write it as a number itself. So we have 5, 1, 5, 9, 3, and 2 for the frequencies. Okay. By taking a look at the table, you will now answer the following question. So this is just a discussion. Don't need to write it in a paper. So how many class intervals are there? So let us take a look. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we have 5 class intervals. Next question, what is the lowest class interval? Highest class interval. So let us take a look. Lowest class interval is 16 to 20. Highest class interval is 36 to 40. What is the class size? So if I have 36 to 40, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. Therefore, my class size is 5. Next, which score interval has the highest frequency and lowest frequency? So for the highest frequency, that will be our 26 to 30. And for the lowest frequency, that will be our 36 to 40. So therefore, that's the answer to our 4 questions here. Next, complete the table below for the class interval 21 to 25. So if I'm going to answer it, we have 21 to 25, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. So therefore, my class mark is 23. And for the lower class limit, I will have 21. For the upper class limit, I will have 25. For the lower class boundary, I will have 20.5. For the upper class boundary, I will have 25.5. So that's how you complete this table. Okay, let us have now how to construct a frequency distribution. So examples, we have 2 examples again for the ungroup and for the group. First, let us start with the ungroup of frequency distribution. So Jessica is a plantita. She surveyed 20 households in their barangay and found out the number of varieties of plants they own. The results are 3, 0, 1, 4, 4, 1, 2, 0, 2, 2, 0, 2, 0, 1, 3, 1, 2, 1, 1, 3. To organize the given data, we need to construct a frequency distribution, simply follow the steps. Okay, step 1 is to create a table with 3 columns. Label each column. Since we know what is the focus of this frequency table, we can write the number of varieties of plants on the first column. Then, we have the tally and frequency. On the first column, that is always your title of the categories. So that is our step 1. For the step 2, write the categories of the result gathered in the first column. So the number of varieties of plants, we will write now the categories. And we have here there the number that I announced a while ago. So we'll write it accordingly. We have 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So that is for the step 2. For the step 3, tally the numbers in each category based on the data gathered in the survey. So here are the results. We already write it, the tallies. So for 0, we have 4 sticks. For 1, we have 6 sticks. For 2, we have 5 sticks. For 3, we have 3 sticks. And for 4, we have 2 sticks. That's for your step 3. For step 4, count the sticks in the tally column and write the frequency in the third column. So since you already have the tally, you're just going to count it. Write it as a number in your frequency column. So you have now 4, 6, 5, 3, and 2. Therefore, you complete now the table. But we still have the step 5. We need to write a title for us to know what this table all about. So the title of this table will be Frequency Distribution of the Number of Varieties of Plants of 20 Households. Again, this example is specifically called Frequency Distribution for ungrouped data. For ungrouped data only, if you will find that this doesn't have a class interval. How about for our group data? So we have here the following data set. Our focus now is final math grades of 20 grade 7 students for the school year 2019 to 2020. So this is last year. So this is just an example that the 20 students have this as their final math grades. We're going to arrange it in a frequency distribution. As you can see, we have 78, 96, 91, 84, 87, 83, 90, 79, 85, 82, 92, 81, 86, 85, 88, 86, 89, 88, 80, and 76. We're going to write it in a frequency distribution. We have another way of writing it when we're going to have it as a group data. So to prepare a frequency distribution table, we also have the following steps. For our step 1 this time, we need to find the highest score and the lowest score. So we already have it there. The highest score in our data is 96. The lowest score is 76 for the step 1. For the step 2, we need to compute for the range. The range is the difference between the highest and lowest scores. So we have let R for the formula. This is the formula. Let R equals H minus L. And we all know our highest score and lowest score is 96 and 76. So 96 minus 76 equals 20. So our range therefore is 20. That is for the step 2. Step 3, if we intend to set the number of class intervals to be 4, we intend to set the number of class to be 4, then compute for the class size using the formula below. So we have the formula also, class size equals R over 4 because we intend to have it just 4. Thus, we have class size, we all know our range is 20, equals 20 over 4. And 20 divided by 4 will give us 5. So that will be the number of our class interval. It should have 5 class interval for the step 3. After the step 3, we have the step 4. We're now going to form the table. We're going to complete the list of class intervals. The lowest class interval should have an upper limit that is divisible by class size. Since the lowest score is 76 in the dataset, you may set the lowest class interval to be 76 to 80. So we're going to start with that, then going up to the highest score or grade. So this is how it looks: 76 to 80, 81 to 85, 86 to 90, 91 to 95, 96 to 100. Then we have the step 5. Again, the step 5 is for our tally. Tally column by marking sticks where the score falls. You may start at the top left, then across or downward. So 96 to 100, we have 1 stick. 91 to 95, we have 2 sticks. 86 to 90, we have 7 sticks. 81 to 85, we have 6 sticks. And 76 to 80, we have 4 sticks. That is for your step 5. For the step 6, of course, we will record the total number of sticks per class interval in the frequency column. And you may also replace your class interval with grades. You will write it as grades as the heading of your first column, because we all know that we're talking about the grades in relation to the data set. Then don't forget to write a title of your frequency distribution. So this is how it looks. Final math grades, that will be the title, of 20 grade 7 students, school year 2019 to 2020. So this is the complete table now. We have now there the frequency written as a number. So we have 1, 2, 7, 6, and 4. Again, this is a frequency distribution for group data. Okay, we're done now giving you the example of frequency distribution for ungroup and group data. We will proceed now on the things that you need to do on a piece of paper. So let us start with learning task 1. For the learning task 1, a family sports fest with the theme Pamilyang Pilipino, One for All for One, was held in Tatala, Binangonan, Rizal. Based on the registration records, the frequency distribution of the ages of the participants was constructed. That is on the next slide. Here. So we have here the complete frequency distribution. So you need to take a look on that. And answer this following question. First is, in which age bracket does the most number of participants fall? Second, what age bracket or brackets has no participants? Third, how many participants whose age falls between 31 to 33 years old? Fourth, what is the possible age of the youngest participant? Fifth, what is the total number of participants? So that are the questions on the table here. You will get your answer based on this table for that 5 questions given. Next, we have the learning task 2, a floating fish hatchery in Sampaloc Lake, one of the 7 lakes in San Pablo City, produced 8 baskets of tilapia daily. For 5 days, the weights of the baskets in kilogram of tilapia were recorded as shown in the next slide. So here are the data. You will now construct a frequency distribution based on the table above. Let the intended number of class intervals be equal to 5. So take note, it says class intervals. Therefore, you're going to follow the step-by-step process of making frequency distribution for group data. We also have fill in the blank. So fill in the blank number 1, the number of times a particular observation appears in a data set is called its blank. Number 2, one way to display the spread of frequencies of the categories, values of a counting variable or class intervals is to construct a blank. Third, in a class interval, the middle score is called the blank. Fourth, the number of values that may fall in a class interval is its blank. Fifth, blank are the values that occupy the gaps between class intervals. They can be found by subtracting 0.5 from the lower class limit and adding 0.5 to the upper class limit. After the fill in the blank, we have also a quiz. So for the direction, encircle the letter that corresponds to the best answer. We have here a given situation. The frequency distribution is based on the records of a public hospital. The data set was the number of patients admitted on a weekly basis for the past 6 months. So this is the table. You're going to take a look at this table and get your answer on the given questions. So here are the questions. First, in what class interval does the most number or highest frequency of admitted patients in a week fall? So we have here the choices. Second, what is the recorded lowest possible number of admitted patients in a week? Third, what is the class mark of class interval 56 to 60? Fourth, if the hospital admitted 54 patients, in what class interval will it fall?
Bluetooth mode.
Okay, next. Fourth, if the hospital admitted, okay, we're done with that. And for the fifth one, how many weeks were recorded based on the table? How many weeks were recorded based on the table? Then finally, if you're done with our learning task 1, learning task 2, the fill in the blanks and the quiz, you can now do your reflection. Again, you can choose from doing a video blog, a narrative post, a photo journal, or to your preferred reflective mode of documentation. Just don't forget to state or write the 3 statements: I learned that, I realized that, and I will do. Then we can finally say, madaling-madali ang math, as simple as that. Once again, I'm your grade 7 mathematics teacher, Maria.